All right, so the first, you observe that this is the daily new COVID cases in Manitoba over 14 days. So we know it's 14 values already. Sometimes they say it, sometimes they don't. So the mean number of cases, right? So I would want you to see, I would want to see the sum. So if you add up all the cases, right, you got that, and you divided 14 into 14 equal, basically, buckets. And so this is how many cases you would expect per day. If you want to write that down, that's fine, but that would be fine cases. So 1 mark for the work and 1 mark for the actual answer. So if your work is wrong, you go right -1. I'd still give you an answer for calculating it today. If you forgot your units, right? If you didn't round, you do one of those there. Write down the data points in ascending order. It just means order them from lowest to highest. Yeah. I can mark it later too, if you don't want. So then lowest to highest, I'll just show you what you're supposed to get. 150, 175, 200. So it has to be exactly like this for you to get the mark here. But you'll get marks later on, even if they are wrong, but you base it on this. 375, 375, 400, and 750. Okay, so that's what I would expect you to have there. And so one mark if it's exactly like this. Even if you're off by 1, take off a full mark, but then we'll honor it with whatever else you've done. So what's the median number of cases? It's up to you, but the shortcut would be, obviously with median, you need to add 2 numbers and divide it by 2 because this is an even, right? This is even. It's got 14 days. So you could go 14 divided by 2 is 7. So you know you need to start at the 7th and add the 8th value as well, and then divide it by 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's these two. And if you weren't sure, cover them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know you're on the right track. So don't just do this blindly, right? So that would be 620 divided by 2, which is 310 cases. Okay, that's your median there. So I give you 1 mark for the work and then 1 mark for your answer. Oh, sorry, no. 1 mark for the answer and 1 mark for what does this tell us? So it tells us that half of the days there were less than 310 cases and half of the days more. Okay, I probably could rip this out and give this to you, and you could probably get a prescription with that. I'm fairly confident. Anyways, 310 days cases. Okay, so 1 and 1. 1 for the 310, 1 for the explanation that kind of hints towards the more, half of the time more, half of the time less. What's the mode? 375 cases. It's right there. You know, you want to know how I do these questions? I just literally type them up like this, and then I get Microsoft Excel to scramble them for me, and then boom, right? Like, so I kind of want the mode to be something and whatnot, right? And then I just scramble it. And so that's how I make these questions, so you kind of know already. For this one, you would take every single value in here and put a dot where it belongs. So this would be 75 here. Then we have 100, 150, 175, 200, 250, 300, and 320, 350, and then this 375 shows up 3 times. This is what you do when it's repeated. So if you want to write this down, consider this a lesson, right? 400, and then 750 is way out there, way out there. What would we call that one? An outlier. Any outlier or outliers. 750 cases is the outlier. in this case. Okay, you can tell it lies outside most of your data points. Okay. Predict what effect removing the outlier would have on the mean. If you were to omit this one, not include it, what would happen to your average number of cases? It would decrease, right? It would decrease. It would decrease the average number of cases. Okay. And if, you know what? Because it is a high outlier. And that is in particular why that is, because if it would be on the lower end, you remove that one, it would actually increase it because you're removing the one that's pulling you down. Okay, so yeah, whatever you wrote down today, 2 marks if you got that. Okay, will be nice today. This one is a bonus today of +1 if you did this right. So technically 2, 3, this is 5, 6, we're not counting that one, 7, 8, 9. So this page is 9, but you could have potentially scored 10 out of 9. But just make sure you take off at least 1/2 mark for units missing, okay? So 9 for this page. All right, backside. Puzzle time. Hopefully I didn't mess this one up, right? Median is 5, so that's 1 mark. If you have that one in here. Mode is 4, so there should be 2 4s there. That's another mark. And then a mean of 6, so I multiply it by 5, I need a sum of 30. So this should be 30. This is 8 and 5 is 13. So that means that this has to be 17. And you have 1 to 10 to use here. So 8 and 9. That would be one option. 7 and 10, yes, that works in that order. Okay, so that would be another mark for your having your average, which means these numbers should add up to 30. That's what that means. If it's not arranged, you lose a mark. Okay, like regardless of how you spin it, you would lose a mark. Okay, 3 marks for that one. I find it like it's easy 3 marks. Like at least 2 out of the 3 are easy. Okay. So Matt has the following scores: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. What must he score on his upcoming test? This we're gonna call this X, right? To get an average of 60%. So 60 is what you want. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tests that we're considering. This all adds up to, allow me 1 second here. It adds up to 381 already. So I would go 381 plus X. If you have this, you already get a mark. If this is at some point you come up with this, you get a mark. Mr. Drake, so what if I have a 6 here, minus 1? For sure. But you might still get another mark if you do everything right from there on in. Okay? So now you need to show me this. Times 7 times 7. Cancel, cancel. This is 420. Right? And then minus 381. So you would, if you multiply it by 6, you get 360 here, right? And you would, so that'd be a different answer, obviously. But that's okay. Just be consistent. So if you subtract here, you get 39. So you can fail on his next test and still get that.
Will he not? I mean, he shouldn't show up then. Or just like you.
Technically, if you don't show up, you get 0. Then you don't get your goal, right? But you can show up and just get 39% and then still get your goal. Next one, I'm going to copy paste. I'm going to say 70 is equal to 381 plus x over 7. Okay, but I now want a 70 here. So you get a mark for this, and then you need to clean this up. Cancel, cancel. This is 490. And so it's 381 plus x. You subtract 381 from both sides. Cancels there. Sorry. Bring this up, bring this up, bring this up. There we go. X is equal to 109, right? Say what? Is it possible?
No, I mean,
That's what you need, but it's not possible.
yeah.
Unless there are bonuses, but we don't consider bonus marks, okay? Okay, so is it possible? It is possible to get a 60 average, but not possible to get a 70%. Why is that? Because you need more than 100%. Because he needs more than 100% on the test. So this backside is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the front, what was it, 9? Right, but it's still 9 and 8, so 17 possible. And you could score 18 out of 17. Oh, the other bonus has 4 wheels and flies. I don't know if you did it. That's a garbage truck. It has 4 wheels and flies follow it, right? So that's another bonus there if you got that one. I'm pretty sure I told that one before. Quite certain.